What's up, everybody, and welcome to NXT with Najee, a part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. And we are here with episode 35, our Vengeance Day prediction show. I'm super excited. I don't know if you guys recently watched the episode of NXT well, technically we're doing this on Wednesday, so it was last night, but it was insane. A steel cage match, Ricky Starks, so many different things happen. Is he pulling a fast one on us and turning on the family, which we kind of saw coming? That's a different conversation for a different time. Now, I know last episode I was by myself, but for this one, episode 35, I don't have just one guest. I have two guests. But we're going to start off with my first guest. Ladies and gentlemen, this person is a movie reviewer. He is an NXT super fan. He is what some people would call a Beyblade professional. Make some noise and show some love to my buddy Roman. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good, good. Glad to be here on this podcast finally. I know it's been a little bit of a long time waiting, but I'm glad to actually be on here and just share my love for wrestling and NXT.
Yeah, dude, we've been working behind the scenes trying to make this specific conversation happen for
Yeah.
quite some time online. He was actually supposed to be in one of my top 10 videos, but you know how schedules work when you're an adult, kind of happens like that. Now, for my second guest, I'm gonna give him crazy good introduction. This dude does cosplay. This man just is a recent Full Sail graduate. Might have to throw that in there. But great personality, great kid. Dude is fantastic. If you've ever in your life thought about doing a Miles Morales cosplay, don't do it because this guy's gonna beat you out. Make some noise for my boy Miles. What's going on, Miles?
Oh, not much. I'm glad to be here. This is my first podcast. Well, first appearance being your podcast.
Yeah, dude, I'm super excited to have you here, man. It's Miles has been my boy since basically day one. Big Wesley fan. He's, a little on the edge with him right now,
Well,
but
I am a little on the edge since Wesley's heel turn and all that.
yeah, man, but I think the heel turn's great. But that's like I said, different conversation for a different time. But welcoming my two guests, my friends. I'm super excited to get into these Vengeance Day predictions. Now we're gonna switch up this here to where we can get everybody on here at the same time. Perfect. So first match of the night. It's a six match match card.
Six
So
matches.
yeah. So first one we're gonna talk about is going to be Fraxium versus Briggs and Yoshiki for the NXT tag team titles. Now this match was just made last night after a triple threat tag match, which I think Briggs and Yoshiki look fantastic. What do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about this being the next challenge for Fraxium?
Actually, it feels good because it'll hype the crowd up. And hopefully, if I could be honest, I'm just hoping for Josh Briggs and Yoshiki and whatever his last name is.
That's why I just stuck with Yoshiki.
Yeah, I'll stick with Yoshiki. But anyway, Josh Briggs and Yoshiki because I think they got the best tag team out of NXT. And I think they can dethrone Fraction.
Yeah, I think that's a very good prediction there. Like I said, last night they looked on fire. Roman, what are you thinking about that? You think that Briggs and Yoshiki have what it takes?
They have everything in their arsenal. I just don't think it's gonna be their time at Vengeance Day. I think Fraxium right now is probably the best high that a tag division has been in wrestling, period. We really didn't really think much of them at first. It's like, oh, it's a Dusty Rhodes Cup. Yeah, let them have the tag belts. But as they progressed, they just kept getting better and better to the point where now they're defending them on TNA. The potential matchup with the Hardys coming
Oh,
up, which would
please.
be insane. And I love Briggs. Fraxium said it yesterday. He is one of the most, if not the most underrated wrestler on that roster. And ever since Inamura has come here, he has made nothing but waves at live shows and even the dark matches that we've seen beforehand. So I definitely think it will be a great showing for them. I just think Fraxium is going to hold on to him a little bit longer.
Yeah, and I agree. My pick is also going to be Fraxium. Hate to have you be the odd one out, Miles, but my pick is going to be Fraxium retaining because over the past like 2 months, we've literally seen Fraxium die and still win matches, like individually and as a unit, get absolutely destroyed and still win the match. And Briggs, like you said, dude, completely underrated. great wrestler. That stand and deliver match by itself is something that we'll never forget from last year. And I think at some point in time down the line they could do it, but I don't think they're gonna pull that trigger for this one.
Mhm.
So we got 2 votes for Fraxium retaining, and we have 1 for Briggs and Yoshiki pulling the upset. So there's our first round of predictions. Now we're gonna slide on in to the second match of the night, which is a grudge match. Ethan Page versus Javon Kanye Wired Shut Jaw Evans. That's all I can think about every time I see him with his jaw wired shut is the through the wire video. I don't even know if we're
Mhm.
allowed to say Kanye's name on the internet anymore right now, but
I'm zipping. I don't want to. I don't want to risk that.
yeah. So Roman, we're gonna start with you for the first
Heard.
first prediction here. Who do you think is gonna win this? Do you think that it's time for Javon Evans to keep going with his push, or does Ethan Page end it once and for all?
I do think, and all flowers to Ethan Page, because I'm not sure if any of, I mean, everyone at NXT knows that I am a big snub for Ego. Love the man. I've loved his work even on T when he was an Impact and AEW and wherever he's been. I just think Javon is now going to be built up as the next guy whenever the bigger names leave, like Trick, Roxy
Hmm.
even is going to be leaving soon. Everyone else that is going to be going from NXT to Raw or SmackDown on the draft, I think Javon is going to be the first person to step up. And this match is a not like a granted win, it's a necessary win for Javon to be still in that upper mid card to main event level.
Yeah.
So I definitely think with all of this bad blood that's been happening, Javon is going to pull through and give Ego a piece of this work.
All right, we got Roman with Javon. Now, Mouse, who do you got? You got Mr. Bouncy? Because I know you're a big, big supporter of Javon.
Of course.
So,
Really, Javon could pull an upset on Ethan Page. Because if you think about it, I think Javon has like a lot of potential in himself. And it might not happen, but I think Ethan Page will be called up in the main roster
mhm,
at some time.
yeah, I agree. All right, so your page, who's your pick? Your pick is also Javon?
Javon.
All right, I think what's going to be all across the board with all 3 of us, Javon Evans. I agree. I think Ethan is really just it's a slowly winding down clock before he ends up on the main roster. I have a lot of respect for him for the way he did come to NXT. I know it was a little rushed with him winning the title, but it was for a purpose, and he definitely showed that he can handle it. So I think for Javon's sake, Javon wins this match and he's getting his title opportunity, whether it be the North American title, which Roman has on his shoulder, shout out, or the NXT men's title. I think North American seems like a really good way for him to
Yeah,
go.
North American.
Yeah, especially because like if you look at like Wesley, Carmelo Hayes, um, Trick Williams, all those people, fantastic, African American wrestlers who have held that title. And I think that he's another one that should be added to that list. And I think when he does,
Mhm.
his reign will be fantastic. But enough rambling about Javon Evans because that boy is bouncy. So now we're going to
Oh
bounce
yeah.
on into this next match,
I knew
which
you were going to
is,
say
I know, I
that.
can't help it, man. Sometimes me being in my 30s just shows very terribly. My dad jokes are off the wall. All right.
Nah, I hear you. I hear you.
All right. So now we're going to go into the second grudge match of the night, which is Trick Williams versus Eddie Thorpe in a strap match. Another match that kind of got added last night. All 3 of us have chanted at one point in time, Eddie, the door. No disrespect to Eddie.
Never.
You haven't
I've
done it once?
never chanted that
Okay.
once.
So I'm no like I'll have my own back here on this one, I guess. I've said it before, yes, but I only say it because it's like I don't think he needs to be involved with a title picture or some of the
Well,
heavy
he doesn't.
hitters. I don't
He
think
really
so.
doesn't, because what what else he's got to prove? What else?
Yeah.
He ain't gonna prove nothing.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Like he doesn't. Eddie's. I'm trying to figure out a way to say this about Eddie without sounding disrespectful or like I'm talking down on him. He's good, but I think that he's a North American Championship type superstar. Like I don't think even
Exactly.
the title picture thing
Exactly.
felt so rushed, bro. But I personally, I'll start with my prediction on this one. all bias aside, I have Trick Williams walking away with the win. I think Trick getting this win is a good redemption for him losing to Oba. And then with him winning this match, I think that it leads us to the final showdown between Trick and Oba, which I think will happen at Roadblock.
With
I
that,
think,
I agree.
yeah, I think that that's going to be the route that comes with, because the wildest thing is with Trick winning this match, in my opinion, I think he's going to do something super crazy, super aggressive, and that's going to be his heel turn. And if I'm not mistaken, it would be an exact year from the Carmelo Hayes heel turn. So I think that comes around full circle. But that's just my opinion. So I got Trick Williams winning. Miles, who do you got?
Well, I got Trick Willie winning.
All right.
And to disagree, I don't think Trick Williams is going to turn heel just yet. Nobody's ready for him to turn heel.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the reason I've said it before a couple of times, like I think whenever they do the heel turn with like an ex-champion, that means that main roster is on the way. But that's just my theory. But Roman, who do you got for your winner?
Yeah, I'm to lighten up a little bit with Eddie. I completely agree that it was way too rushed. Doesn't deserve to be in the main title picture. But at the same time, I think him being rushed and showing that, when he had those matches, they weren't terrible. They were good. And he showed off, meaning whenever he goes down to a lower mid card division like North American, he's going to shine more. And I think for that, it's good. But for this match, it's needed to be won by Trick. And I completely agree with you. He needs his redemption from this rather than Eddie, because Eddie has nothing to redeem himself on. He's been on the heel end of this the entire time. There's no redeeming for himself. Well, Trick has a purpose because he got screwed out of his title.
All
So
right.
I think Trick's gonna win.
All right. Once again, around the board. Trick. It's great. I feel like we have a lot of the same opinions because like all three of us are there in that crowd every week. So we like
And
get a good sense of what's going on and maybe what needs to happen. But those are our opinions. These
yeah.
are our opinions, internet. Don't come for us. Don't cancel me. I know I get passionate about NXT, but just don't cancel me.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're halfway through the match card. We are now moving into the rest of the championships. I know we started with the tag team titles earlier, but now we're gonna move into the ends of the show. Now, first one, I love this matchup. I think it's a little predictable. It's a little predictable as to what's gonna happen, but we've been wrong before. We have Stephanie Vakura versus Fallon Henley for the North American Women's Championship. Roman, we're gonna start with you. You look real excited
Oh,
about this one. Who you got?
give me Stephanie. She is on the biggest role out of any NXT woman on that roster right now. She just got a new shirt. Amazing. Love the design. She is getting the mega push of the season. And I'm not sure if you saw her match with JC Jane.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously we did. We were there, but like if you go back and watch it, the amount of aura that she has and the crowd reaction that we give her, it's all warranted. It's all 100% just right with the world. And she needs that title to cement herself in that women's division. Fallon, gonna give her flowers. She's been doing a pretty decent job,
Mhm.
but I just think overall Stephanie is gonna elevate that belt to leagues above the previous two winners. So I'm all in for Vicar. I will always be in for Vicar.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Smart man, smart man. All right, Miles, who you got? Who you got? You got Stephanie, or do you think Fallon retains?
Well, I think Fallon retains because they're not ready for Fallon to lose the belt. She's been holding it for 3 months, and it's too soon for her. I like Stephanie, do not get me wrong, but after Stephanie loses, she might go for that NXT Women's title.
Hmm.
Whenever the NXT Women's title could change hands.
Hmm. All right, so we got one for Fallon. We got one for Stephanie. Oh, I'm torn. I'm torn. I'm torn.
It's tough.
I'm gonna pick Stephanie. And like I'm once again, it's all bias aside. I do love Stephanie. I'm a big Stephanie fan. I bought the shirt yesterday. I was the first one in line. I was not playing games. Um,
Yes, yes. Same
but
here.
I think Stephanie Vakira is gonna win. I think it might be just a little too soon. I agree. And I think that Fallon's reign is fun. No disrespect to Kalani, but I'm having more fun with Fallon as champion than I did with Kalani. But I also think that in order to keep Julia and Stephanie away from each other until, say, Stand and Deliver, maybe that's the way to do it. But both of you guys are right, because one way you got Stephanie winning the title, keeps her away from Julia for a while. But then again, you have Stephanie losing the title, which also could keep her away from Julia. So we'll see. Either way, Fallon Henley is amazing at the end of the
Mhm.
day. But Stephanie is my pick as well. Now we're going into the men's championship match. Oba Femi versus Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller in a triple threat match. Super random, but I think the purpose here is to prove that Oba can go with main roster talent. And they also have been looking for a reason to make the Austin Theory and Grayson Waller beef kind of happen. Before we get started, do you guys think that's actually going to happen in this match? Do you guys think that
I
this is it?
maybe
Yes.
not in this match, but leading down, because if you're gonna have main roster like a big breakup, like I don't want to disrespect NXT or anything. Vengeance Day is a great stage for it, but I feel like WrestleMania could be a good climax for it. If not, then Vengeance Day leading into a potential match at WrestleMania with like higher stakes.
Hmm. That's what I think too. I agree with
Mm,
that one 100%. I think this is what's going to kick off the storyline to WrestleMania. This is
mhm.
their Royal Rumble moment. Again, if you want to use
Yeah.
that way to explain it. All right, so who do you have winning, Miles? We're gonna start with you. Who do you think? Do you think the ruler retains, or do you think that Theory or Waller pull off the upset and shock the world?
Definitely Oba because Theory and Waller are no match for Oba. That type of main event is going to be a squash match.
Yep.
You know, if I was a general manager, I would put Oba to face someone like from TNA, Sammy Callahan, Moose, or even Eddie Edwards. It would have been great, especially Moose. But it do make sense on Tuesday because, like you said, Theory and Waller, A-Town Down Under, they're gonna break up. And if they do, book it to WrestleMania. Waller versus Theory.
Yep, 100%. I agree. So we got one for Oba, the ruler. The ruler's got one. Who do we got? You got Roman, you feeling the vibe of the ruler?
Yeah, make it two. Like
Yeah.
10,000%. There's no way he's losing it this early. And I just want to kind of like rewind a little bit to Vengeance Day 20, what was it, 2022, where it was Roxy
Yes.
versus Gigi and JC when they were still part of Toxic Attraction. This is giving very similar vibes. And that beatdown that they had yesterday on NXT, that was going to be their one opportunity to get Oba. And Oba now knows better not to let that happen again. And if it does happen again, they're going to get in each other's heads, and Oba's going to take advantage, power bomb them, stack them, do whatever. Just put him,
Just like
put him back
Roman
over.
Reigns
Yeah, put him back
on
over to
Edge and
Raw.
Bryan.
Put him back over to
Yes.
Raw. I'm a
Yeah.
huge Theory fan, but Oba retains 10,000%.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this earlier because I'm looking at it's a basic like what, a 3 hour show, maybe 2 hour show.
Probably three,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure is what it is. And I'm like, there's no way they're gonna be able to squeeze six really good matches in here. One of these is gonna have to be an absolute squash match. Like something's gonna happen to where the match lasts maybe 5 minutes, 8 minutes tops. And I think it's gonna be this one. I think Oba retains. It's gonna be Oba once again for all of us. I think Oba retains. I think Oba ends up just absolutely destroying Theory and Waller. Like the first second that it looks like they're about to start actually fighting and
Mhm.
give us that confrontation that we want, I think Oba just absolutely destroys them. And Oba walks away with the championship. Now, I
He's
say
like
this
the new
one,
Roman Reigns.
yeah, I think he's better than Roman Reigns. I think personally they're doing if they're like combining the success of like early Brock Lesnar and Goldberg with like the scariness of Omos, and they're molding it into something perfect. Yeah, and that's literally what the Oba storyline is turning into. Like they're not rushing the he's a beast thing because they made him look human against the family,
Mhm.
but I think we're onto something here with Oba, but Oba retains. So now we're gonna move on to this last one. This last one I saved it for last because it is unreal. It doesn't seem like something
Mhm.
we would have thought would be happening when you read it on paper, but it is. You got Roxanne Perez versus Bailey versus Julia versus Cora Jade. Now you guys know me. I've been ranting about this forever. Cora is getting that title sooner or later. I'm not a big Cora Jade fan, but I am a Cora Jade story supporter. If that makes sense. I am gonna stick with my guns here. I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna say Cora Jade wins. Cora Jade wins his title, and I think that shakes up the atmosphere and the Julia story so much for NXT. So I'm gonna go with Cora Jade right off the bat. Miles, I'm gonna shoot it down to you.
I will go for Bailey because she haven't won an NXT women's title. She has won the SmackDown Raw women's titles, even the tag team titles.
I think she did though. I think she's a
Did
Grand Slam champion, isn't she?
yeah, she
Oh
beat
yeah, she's a
Sasha.
Grand Slam champion. Oh my God. Yeah, yes. I meant to say two-time
Ah, there
There
we
you go.
go.
NXT women's
2 time. There we
title.
go.
Two-time Bailey.
Now, I like Julia, don't get me wrong, but if she's champion, that's okay too. And
Hmm.
with Roxanne and Cora, they might break up again, just like ATL or A-Town Down Under. My bad. Just like almost 3 years ago, Cora Jade portrayed Roxanne. She will do it again.
Yep. All right. So we got one for Bailey. We got one for Cora. Roman, I can see you bubbling.
Ah,
Who you got?
I'm so torn on this. You don't understand. The two options for anyone, I either think Julia is going to retain or Cora is going to win the title because I'm realistically going through my head. Roxanne has already been declared that she's a part of Monday Night Raw now.
Yep.
She has a chamber qualifying match against Raquel this coming week, this coming Raw. Bailey's already in chamber.
Hmm.
They're going to continue their rivalry from this match into potentially chamber into potentially WrestleMania.
Yep. I like it.
And I think their chemistry already on the mic has been very good. The mind games are there when she came out with Bailey's old attire yesterday, which was
Goated. She's
fantastic.
immediately goaded for that. Roxanne, if you're
Fantastic.
listening or watching, if this ends up being a clip, you're goaded for that. That got us all. But I digress.
But I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but Naj, I got to agree with you. I think this is Cora's time. And if it's not, then maybe it's stand and deliver. I just know by the end of the year, she will be holding,
Yeah.
or but at some time point this year, she will be holding the NXT Women's Champion. Again, no stress to Julia. She's been doing a great job keeping herself very professional in NXT. Great matches, good chemistry with the other women, but I definitely think Cora needs this for all of the troubles that she's been in these past couple of years. This is her moment. So I am going to go with new NXT Women's Champion Cora Jade.
All right. You heard it. You have heard it. We got two for Cora. We have two. Well, shoot. We have one for Bailey. One for Bailey for the surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Two-time Bailey.
2
We
time.
want that. We
Yeah,
want that.
two-time
But all right,
Bailey.
my friends, you guys have heard it. That is our prediction show. This is our idea of how Vengeance Day is gonna look like. We're gonna have a new women's champion. We all believe that. We do believe that there will be a new women's North American champion, and we believe that Oba will continue to be Oba. But thank you
Oh
guys
yes,
so much, my friends. Thank you, Roman. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Miles.
Thank
So,
you.
so, so much for joining me today.
always.
Miles, if you would like to plug in your social media, how people could find you, maybe support your cosplay, and just support you as a human being, can you want to throw a good shout out there for yourself?
You can follow me at Miro.cosplays on Instagram and on TikTok to support to support my cosplay content, my music,
Heck
and
yeah.
whatever it is I do.
Heck yeah, man. You can also look for Miles in the crowd every single week at NXT. He is a part of the NXT family. Been that way for a long time. Roman, your turn. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah. On Instagram, you can find me under at hypothetically underscore mimic, where I post my regular life and my new 2025 movie reviews, where I do everything in 10 words or less, just to give a quick little sum up for everyone who's too busy to read full reviews. Or you can find me on YouTube with my new web series starting this year with TBL, or Tuesday Bay League, which is a nice little kayfabe thing I'm doing with a couple of friends.
Amazing. One more time, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for listening, for watching a clip, doing whatever you guys are doing. Thank you for loving NXT. Thank you for being interested in what's going on these Tuesdays here in Orlando or wherever they might be for the week. But my name is Najee. I'm the host of NXT with Najee. Thank you guys for tapping in for episode 35. One more time, shout out to the Whip Show, Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast. It's been real. Shout out to my guest. Until the next time, my friends.
Wake up, no sleeping, there's a dream to chase. I'm trying to be someone elected in this human race. No, I'm not trying to run a country, trying to mold and shape. I found my peace and now I'm sharing so you can't